as we just talked about, we were saying that today Call of Duty World War DOS or World War II comes out on Game Pass. It's the first like kind of newer Call of Duty game. No, sorry. I guess I shouldn't say newer because that's not true. We had Modern Warfare 3 and we had Black Ops 6 now on Game Pass. I guess technically older Call of Duty game to come out on Game Pass. And it's going to be an interesting one, and we're probably going to play it later today. But this game came before an era of what we now know as Call of Duty HQ. It's old new, exactly, class. 2017, I think, somewhere around there. But yeah, so all of the new games run off of Call of Duty HQ, and I believe that's what this video is about. From Who's Immortal. Call of Duty's biggest project is failing, and I believe that's Call of Duty HQ, building a centralized play space for everything new that comes out in Call of Duty, and it's failing for a wild amount of reasons, and that's what I'm hoping Zach dives into in this video. Who's Immortal? Go subscribe to the man. He's 12K away from 1 million. We got to get him there this year. Anyway. Oh, you're quiet. You're quiet.
How you doing? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. One of the biggest innovations Call of Duty has really attempted in a long time is, of course, the Call of Duty HQ.
Called it.
This year here in Black Ops 6, it's anything but new. It's been around since the quote-unquote new era of Call of Duty began back with Modern Warfare 2022 and Warzone 2.
So one interesting thing, if you look at this, is Call of Duty HQ wasn't technically around in Modern Warfare 2019, Cold War, and Vanguard. Technically, it wasn't. Now, they kind of did, but it didn't work in the way that it does now. Now it's fully integrated.
MW 2019 Cold War Vanguard in that Warzone 1 era into this new era of Warzone, they implemented this brand new feature never before done in Call of Duty known as the COD HQ, essentially a hub, if you will, a platform, if you will, where all future Call of Duty titles would be established. It'd be easy to plug and play, going from one COD title to the next, jumping between various different modes, Warzone to DMZ, to multiplayer, to zombies, to campaign, to whatever else they throw at you across the board in any given.
Like when they read that to you on paper, that idea makes sense, right? Like when you think about it, you say, oh, okay, so a place that I can go and just have all of my Call of Duty games ready to go, it makes sense, but it doesn't work because it's not just a launcher. It has everything inside it, and it's not good.
Given year, right? And on paper, it sounds awesome. Okay, cool. A seamless way to jump between all my favorite COD games. That'll be...
Did you just say on paper? It sounds... People always say that I watch these videos in advance. I do not. I knew what this video was about by the thumbnail, okay? And
cool to have it all in one spot. But as the Call of Duty HQ evolved, as we got closer to the end of MW 2022 and closer to the launch of MW3, where the COD HQ would truly be put to the test.
When will they leave COD HQ? I'm hoping Zach talks about what's going on with leaks right now, and the leaks of the game. Black Ops 7 is leaking before our eyes. Now the name didn't leak, but multiplayer has leaked, score streaks have leaked, and people are saying that those ones are on purpose. Those ones aren't. That doesn't build hype. There's certain things that leak that I'm like, okay, that could be to build hype. These things aren't. These are ruining surprises, and it's not good.
For the first time, things got not great, I think is the easiest way to put it, right? Things started being shown very quickly about how the COD HQ on paper was a cool idea, but in execution did not go over well, and it kind of backfired. Right away started causing issues and started being more so, a hurdle, something you had to work around rather than it being this seamless thing where, okay, if I want to jump from this COD title to the next title, that's awesome. On paper, in theory, that sounds cool. I can quickly shift between title from this year, then the title from last year if I want to go back and have some nostalgia, right? But it turned into...
It would work really great if there was no loading screens, right? If I could just back out, go into Modern Warfare 3, and it just immediately be in a lobby for that. But it doesn't work that way on anything. Not on console, not on PC, nothing.
Oh, wait a second. If I want to boot up the current game, okay, I'll just go through the COD HQ. It's going to launch whatever the premium title is. In this case, it's Black Ops 6 and it's Warzone as it stands, right? But if you wanted to go back and play, you know, a different game, MW 2022, MW3, well, now that the COD HQ has been updated, and ever since it started seeing these yearly updates with whatever the new integration and premium title was, okay, if I want to boot up Modern Warfare 3 now, I've got to boot up COD HQ and open up Black Ops 6, and then it's going to close Black Ops 6, and it's going to open up Modern Warfare 3. During this whole cross-launch feature, I have to hope...
Oh, he's forgetting about update requires restart. You got to have that first.
The COD HQ doesn't crash, which it does a ton, because if it does crash, then I have to reboot Black Ops 6 and then close that and then start Modern Warfare 3 again and hope it works that time. And then same deal for Modern Warfare 2. Oh, and if you want to have all this stuff downloaded through the COD HQ so you can actually go between these different titles, you have to download the full game anyways. So it's almost like you have 3 different individual games downloaded. They're just all selected through one launcher where you have to open one game and close it to open up another one.
Here.
It's a whole circus at this point where you got to do a million different tricks just to get to your ending destination. And it's just ridiculous at this point. And like I said, on paper, it's awesome because if you could seamlessly go from the Black Ops 6 menu and boot straight into Modern Warfare 3 multiplayer in 2 seconds, that'd be sick. That'd be really cool and efficient for those who care about that. But
not only that, remember how lately I've just been ripping on carry forward content? And being like, I do not want weapons to carry forward. If Call of Duty HQ worked as designed, where you could literally just hop into a Modern Warfare 3 lobby from Call of Duty HQ immediately, there would be no point of having carry forward because you could just go play in a Modern Warfare 3 lobby, right? But so I think some of the hurdles to get into older games are by design. I don't think they want people playing older games. I really don't. But then they have Call of Duty World War II coming out today on Game Pass. And I'm curious how that goes. I'm going to be playing it. Later. We're probably going to be streaming it later. So like, it's weird.
Instead, you just have to do all this extra work that's not actually convenient whatsoever. And that's just the accessibility start of the Call of Duty HQ. Every single update that we've seen consistently through the COD HQ's history has become more and more problematic. And that's not to say there weren't issues beforehand. You go back to the Warzone 1 era, yes, when we saw large integration updates like when Cold War was added to Warzone or Vanguard was added to Warzone, yeah, those were very problematic updates. Attachments didn't work. The game was unplayable. We had visual texture glitches that were going insane in COD.
So yeah, and so that was because Call of Duty Cold War, Black Ops Cold War, was on a different engine than Modern Warfare, and there was originally no plan to implement Warzone with Cold War. So then when they did, there was bugs everywhere. Yet somehow some of those bugs seem not as bad as the ones we have now. It's weird.
Era for months on end. Console was a mess. Like, there were absolutely issues before.
Yes, it's on paper, it is like the Master Chief Collection for Halo. Also, do you remember what Master Chief Collection was like when it came out?
But it wasn't this case of every time there's a new update, drastic things break. That is definitely a repeated, situation now, though, much more so from MW 2022 through Modern Warfare 3 through definitely Black Ops 6 this year. And it seems like the more that's added to COD HQ, the more problematic it becomes. It's almost like this Frankenstein monster at this point where there is so much being plugged into it that it doesn't know how to...
He hasn't even got to the biggest point yet. If he doesn't get there, I'll get there for him. But he hasn't got to the biggest part yet.
Interact with itself, so it starts freaking out the second that there are new updates. Or they try and slightly tweak one thing here, and it ends up impacting a bunch of other things elsewhere as well because of all the interconnectedness that COD HQ brings to the table. Like I said at the start, in theory and on paper, you present the idea of COD HQ, a single hub to easily access things, to make it so that
Like, imagine if they had a hub where it wasn't just the new games, but your Call of Duty account was linked with every Call of Duty that's been released. You could play any of them at any time. Your COD points were linked between all of them. Everything was linked. So I could boot the Call of Duty HQ up right now, and I could hop from a Black Ops 6 lobby to, no, let's go back and play Black Ops 1. Let's be honest, everyone would be playing those older games. That's why they don't do that, but that would be cool as hell. Again, never happened, but it would be cool as hell.
Future games are going to integrate better and better as time goes on. That sounds awesome, but the way that it's played out has been anything but. And I think at some point here, Call of Duty is going to have to realize, yeah, we tried, but you don't have a 100% success rate in things like this. And when you don't have that success rate, you got to try something else. And sometimes the answer is going back to what worked before. One Call of Duty title is just one Call of Duty title. And then the devs probably look at that and say, well, we've got Warzone every year. And what's been the situation with Warzone? Basically,
if there's a game that does it, it'll be Modern Warfare 4, by the way.
Since integration started happening, this would probably work a lot better if it was a standalone thing. I'm still all for having every premium COD title be...
Can you hear me? I probably shouldn't have plugged it in. Are we good? I think we're good.
Part of Warzone. You know, you bring them together and it's like, okay, the storyline works, the weapons work, you know, it adds that freshness and that uniqueness to it, and it ensures that year over year, Warzone's gonna be, a target thing with fresh content. There's gonna be constant things to look out for. If it was just one game with 20 weapons at all times forever,
literally a mic drop, nice.
Probably get pretty boring pretty quick, but when you know there's gonna be new guns every year, and you know there's gonna be a new direction in the storyline and whatnot, that's great. But when it's all directly connected to the COD HQ and to every premium title, that means the core of it is also constantly being forced to evolve, maybe in ways it shouldn't need to. And then you have situations where the integrations are insanely broken, and now every Frankenstein update, something else is breaking, something else is getting busted. When they're trying to fix 4 or 5 different other things, 6 or 7 other things end up breaking in the process.
Well, and on top of it, the way that they're treating it is they're treating it as 2 different games, but updating it as one, right? So like the update comes out for Black Ops 6 and it's also updating Warzone. It's also updating Zombies, but it's in one update, right? Like when's the last time we got an update that's like just Warzone? You can't really, because it's all through Call of Duty HQ. Still, I don't think the biggest problem.
Thing is a mess. So to me, at least, just as, you know, an ignorant person who doesn't know much about game dev from the outside looking in, COD HQ is a failed attempt at trying to innovate. It's cool. The idea of it's awesome. It just didn't work. And I think that's okay to admit. Swallow some pride here and say, yep, didn't work out how we intended. We'll go back to the standard days of, hey, Warzone, standalone thing. That would be fantastic. But then if you want to play the old COD, you just download the old COD. If you want to play the new COD, you just download the new COD. There's not a huge need for it to be interconnected and potential.
Yeah, here's what's stupid though. You're saying making COD HQ anything other than a pure game launcher was a mistake. Agreed, but here's the thing. There's already a Call of Duty game launcher on PC. There's Battle.net. There's Steam. Do you realize an Xbox and PlayStation are both game launchers? Like, there's no need for Call of Duty HQ. One of the reasons for it is having like your not stats, that's not the word I'm looking for, settings and your account all linked together with your name and your COD name and everything like that. And it does work in that way, but that's pretty much the only way that it works.
Issue after issue, unless they can sort of overhaul the COD HQ in this whole process and make it so that the situation that we have now doesn't repeat itself, although that does seem unlikely. And not to mention, we focus so much on like the core elements of games and how they function and their accessibility. The COD HQ is also Call of Duty's biggest self-reporter. Ever since the COD HQ was implemented, we have seen more leaks stem for things significantly far off in the future.
Yeah, so this is the biggest thing. This is the one that I was waiting for. See how this says Zulu? Yeah, that's for Call of Duty 2027. Not Modern Warfare 4, not Black Ops 7, like Advanced Warfare 2. This is already in the Call of Duty HQ. A couple days ago, images of Black Ops 7 got leaked. Days ago, yesterday, I made a video of Black Ops 7 of what maps are going to look like, what game modes are going to look like, and what score streaks are in the game. We haven't even seen a trailer yet.
The next COD titles, major seasonal updates leak so early on because the COD HQ, because everything, all the files are connected together, that when data miners go through and they see an update for season 2, we're getting leaks for season 5. We're getting leaks for the next Call of Duty title that's 8 months away. And that's solely because COD HQ is being forced to be connected and everything's being built off the same established engine and just enhanced for whatever tech upgrades they've got going on this year. Like almost every single element, it seems like, of the Call of Duty HQ.
Like we have another video queued up for today that is like about DMZ2. And like everything from that is data mined. Like
has backfired in some capacity, some much worse than others, you know, with the state of the game and its core functionality at times. Other times they completely spoil things
today,
because
guys,
they've added files for things that are way, way down the road. Like we know the code names for COD 2025, COD 2026, COD 2027 already. Those projects are years out, and the game's hub itself is responsible for that stuff leaking out. It's not like it's a dev talking to somebody on the street and then word gets leaked and it gets rumored. No, it's Call of Duty just straight up putting it in there.
Also, like I think like Zach is understating this, and so does the gaming community and the Call of Duty community. So I made a video on those data mine score streaks yesterday, and like I would say half of the comments on that are people saying that they are doing this on purpose to build hype for the game. This, more than anything that happens, takes a massive amount of hype away from the game. You no longer have those big booms of people all of a sudden going to look up things because no one knew about them, right? Like a huge example of that is last year, the Black Ops 6 on PS4 got leaked. I don't even know, were jailbroken. You could play it like 6 months early, and all of the cutscenes got leaked and everything like that. Imagine the amount of people that took away from the hype of that game, because no longer did they need to see what's new or what's coming or what the game's about, because they've already seen the whole game. And that's because of Call of Duty HQ. And it's hurting their bottom line. Like if I'm Xbox and I'm like, dude, we pay $1 billion. Okay, maybe not that much. We pay $500 million a year for Call of Duty marketing, and it's all ruined by the thing that you created. Like, Jesus. Like, what are you thinking?
Game and hoping it doesn't get found in it, and it always does. So yeah, there's no denying the COD HQ at one point was a massive project for COD, was a massive innovation, and on paper a cool idea. It just didn't work, and it's now just backfiring left, right, and center, and especially as we're seeing more and more here added into Black Ops 6, which is already a largely problematic game. It seems like the Frankenstein monster is just getting more and more out of control here. So curious to see how this evolves in the future. Do they ever abandon it? If Black Ops 7 COD 2025 here is a direct sequel, as it's rumored to be, with Black Ops 6 and having tie-ins to Black Ops 2, are we going to see carryover with that? Does that mean COD HQ forced into things?
Oh, COD HQ.
Ever going to see that Warzone standalone?
Yeah, COD HQ is 100. Like, and this is what we're saying. Is so that leak that he put in there showing Call of Duty 2027 is already in Call of Duty HQ means we're at least dealing with it until 2027 now. And that's a mistake. And I think if there's one game where they can get away from that, it's Modern Warfare 4. Now, will they? Probably not.
Aspect, lots of questions that I think could, with the right answers, really help the state of COD. The biggest question is, will it ever happen? And time will tell. We'll have to see. As always, I'll be sure to keep you guys updated if we ever get any kind of insight, any announcements into anything like this. But of course, on a day-to-day basis, if you just want to stay up to date with COD, be sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on those post notifications. And if you enjoyed this video, a like rating on your way out would be seriously appreciated. But once again, thank you so much for tuning in. And until next time, take it easy, have an awesome rest of your day, and I'll catch you later. Peace out.
Yeah, so to answer that question, I don't think it's going anywhere. You're saying that Call of Duty HQ needs to be scrapped as well as Battle.net. They probably won't do that because players have purchased games on Battle.net, and merging them with Steam I think would be a big hassle and legal thing. Rigmarole, if you will. That'd be a good word for it. But yeah, Call of Duty HQ is not going anywhere, and it's really unfortunate because it needs to. It's garbage. Is there any other games that do that? Like, people don't even like launchers. Like, people don't like Ubisoft Connect, or people don't like the Epic Game Store or things like that. People like Steam, and Xbox is even pushing so that all, and you know what? This might actually have to do with what Xbox is doing, if you really think about it. Because Xbox has announced that on their new consoles, on PC Game Pass and on their handhelds, they're going to have all the stores. They're going to have Steam. They're going to have like GOG. They're going to have BattleNet all on one thing, and they all can be launched through this Xbox game service, even your Steam games. And this might be a reason why they're doing that. But even if they do this, the way that Call of Duty works right now, they'll have that launcher, which will launch, say I buy Call of Duty through Steam. Then they'll have their Xbox launcher. So I'm using this Xbox handheld. So I launch Call of Duty in the Xbox launcher, which goes into my Steam launcher, launches the game into Call of Duty HQ, which in and of itself is pretty much a launcher. And then from there, I either have to go to multiplayer or Warzone, which launches one of the two things. However, if I wanted to go and play Modern Warfare 3, I would then have to launch that, which would then close that current launcher, open another launcher, update would require a restart. You then go back in. If it doesn't crash, you're good. But then if it does crash, you'd have to relaunch that, which would relaunch the... Do you see the problem that we are getting into? Like, what are we doing?